And we are live. Hello, world. This is Strawman Atheist, and I've got Frustrated Atheist and Not Your Witness right now. And yes, there are two of me, but it's because one of them's presenting. And we're going to be talking music today. Introduce yourselves. Notcha?
Oh, g'day. Not Your Witness here. I'm, I don't know, the underworld apostate, I suppose. Here to just enjoy some tunes and hopefully get a bit of a musical education.
Frustrated, you alive out there?
He did say he was going to be doing a few things, so I don't know whether he's right there or not. He'll probably drop in.
I'm here.
All right. Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Frustrated Atheist. I'm here today to listen to some music and shit, I guess. And also, I do things like debunk shit.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start it off, and we're going to check out a video, and it's the video to the band that does my outro. Let me get that pulled up, and if it's shitty quality, I apologize. I'm working on a budget.
Yeah, no, it happens. You know, we all got to just work with what we got.
Oh, yeah.
Make it till you make it.
And switching
trying to pick up where we are on the YouTube so I can get the chat going. There we are.
Yeah, I can't close it out on my phone because it'll completely kill the stream, and then I can't change it on my laptop. Right. So if somebody says something in the chat, let me know.
There we go. Have you got the ability to wrench people in the chat there, Strawman?
How do I do that? And I'll do it.
So you go to the YouTube page that's streaming the this, and you go to the live chat section or the side chat section, and you'll see my comment there. You can go over to the right side of it. It'll pop up 3 little dots, and then you can hit like add to moderator or something like that.
All right.
Because that way that gives you the wrench. And you can do that to anybody you please. Because means I can, and you'll see my comment. You might want to mute the stream.
All right, it's loading right now. Come on, internet. All right. And
that way I can throw in links.
There you go.
Need cool beans.
And
share it out.
Frustrated. You want to be? Go ahead and put.
Do I want to be what?
Wrenched.
You want to be wrenched? You got to say something in the chat.
Sure. I don't even have the chat pulled up. Hold on, give me a minute.
You slacker. What sort of professional are you?
That's why I've never claimed to be a professional.
I'm not either. So.
No, neither am I. So it's all good. All right.
All right.
There we go.
And you are wrenched.
Awesome.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off. If the audio is shit, let me know. If you can't hear it, let me know. And this is From the Gallows, or Clearwater by From the Gallows. These are the band that does my outro for me. A bunch of really cool dudes. Okay. And the bassist might jump in a little bit. All right.
Yep.
Because I said that they come up, they wait so much that I am rid of. Along the way, scurry away from the cloudy distances of Breda. And I'm convinced that I'm taking my element. And it all comes, it'll stay on the swivel from here on out. At all costs, it'll stay on a swivel from here on.
that a slowdown on the internet, is it, or? We still there? It's the audio's gone.
Oh, I'm still here.
Are you hearing the audio still coming through?
No, I am not hearing no audio.
Sorry, it was just
Are
trying
you
to
there,
catch back up.
Strawman? Oh,
All right.
yep, no, cool. It's all good. Yep.
It was just trying to catch back up. So as you can see, they're metal.
Yeah.
And
Who's
these are
playing what tonight?
That is nothing what I normally listen to. But I guess if you're into yelling, then kudos for you.
Yeah. Which these guys are a local band. I know them pretty well. And they gave me the rights to use this, and that's why. But yeah. So
I had a similar story like years and years ago with a local band here as well. Actually, I got rights to an album that they put out. Similar kind of music too.
nice. Yeah, it's hard to find good metal, like small time metal bands in my area, but there are a few. I'm in central Louisiana, and it's country and bluegrass pretty much. So what do y'all normally listen to?
Ooh, for me, it'd be a bit of everywhere. I mean, I can sit here and listen to this pretty happily. Might not be like the top of my list of stuff I'd normally listen to, but I've definitely it's definitely got its place because I've had my enough times back in the day listening to some heavy stuff that even I would admit I would not have a clue what half of the words say. I just enjoyed headbanging.
Yeah, I can barely understand them half the time too, and I know the lyrics.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you probably don't listen to anything that I normally listen to.
What do you listen to?
I usually listen to country and more classic rock. The classic rock you might listen to, but I don't know of a lot of people who really care for country.
I can
Especially
stand
not
it if it's
metalheads.
older.
Yeah, I like
Especially
the old
what?
country.
I can stand it if it's older. Oh.
Well, I like both older and newer country, mainly because of growing up. That's pretty much what all my mom listened to was anything older all the way up, and so it just kind of got to the point where I was listening to it and loved it. So I can throw down with some Conway Twitty and Florida Georgia Line.
Wow,
I want to throw
Florida.
in some hick joke, but I won't.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
make it a joke. I don't care.
I don't think I can even at the moment, but I just find it. It's funny, but I like the same stuff. Like it's not even that I don't like that. You know, damn it. I'm a weird one. I like a lot of sort of music. I think I said to someone the other day that pretty much the only style of music I really don't like is opera. Like I could not sit through an opera. But even then, I'll be like, oh, I really respect their vocal tone, what they can do and their performance and all that stuff. But I just, it's not for me.
Yeah, it's
Other than that, I can even go back to classical, music, the early, just jazz, even like everything, all of the different themes through generations. I love it.
When I'm writing, I like to listen to a lot of the classical stuff like Bach and all that, just because, especially whenever I'm writing like a steampunk style story, it just gets me in the whole entire spirit of the genre that I'm writing.
Oh yeah, classical is awesome, and actually, like a lot of metal actually derives from classical.
Especially a lot of good stuff, because you can get a lot of really nice like musical overtures within rock song, metal songs, and if it's done really well, yes, absolutely.
A good one for that is Ride the Lightning album by Metallica.
Yeah.
And it literally starts off with a classical guitar, and then throughout it is just nothing but this classical piece with this dark overture, starting off with Fight Fire with Fire, and probably one of the best instrumental pieces they've ever done on there is Call of Cthulhu. And it is.
God, I can't even remember. I'm trying to, because I have a buttload of Metallica albums, and I'm just like, none of that's not ringing a bell to me, but it should. Oh, wrong folder. Media songs. Oh, that might be why. Well, I'm apparently not a hardcore Metallica fan because I don't have all the albums.
I have every album, including Saint Anger.
Yeah, Saint Anger was one of the earliest ones I got, actually. I remember listening to that in the car almost every day. Yeah, it was mixed between that one and one of the Disturbed albums I would just have on loop, one after the other. When I was working at this one shop, I'd have a really long drive to get there, and so you could get through almost the whole album with that drive there, and then the next album to drive home.
Good God, how long's your drive? Because I know those Metallica albums are forever.
Oh, well, it might be a slight exaggeration, but I do remember, like, some days you'll be sitting in the car for an hour or so, and it's meant to only be a 30-minute drive.
Yeah. Let's see. Which classic? Whoa, what's going on? I'm hearing everything. And then Okay. Is there still an echo? Yes, there is.
Has anyone got their stream unmuted? The actual feed coming through on YouTube.
Mine is muted.
Mine is muted. Has anyone got their microphone slightly out?
Mine's attached to my head, so I don't think it's mine. Oh, there we go. I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, no, it's gone. That's blame Russ. He didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Love you, buddy.
Well, then, speaking of classic rock, then, what about, because these guys aren't technically classic rock, but they derive a lot from it, and I'm pulling them up right now. Has anyone ever heard of Ghost?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, sorry. Just the amount that, who is it? Don and Jen and Alan? Jen with one N and Alan with one L, and then another freaking atheist. They go on about ghosts. And I'm like, anytime it's like Ghost. Oh my God, Ghost. Okay, I know who Ghost
Yeah, it's
are.
both Alan with one L and Don are like the biggest ghost people.
It's funny as fuck, but at least I can tell you, yes, I absolutely know who Ghost are.
You don't even have to come close to mentioning ghosts. All you have to do is sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I like music," and someone's like, "Oh, so you like Ghost, right?"
Yeah, it'll just come straight out.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's good times.
Just check this out and watch. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just straight up 80s.
He's a bit choppy there with the coming through.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with it, but the whole video is basically a rundown of 80s and 90s pop culture with dancing and stuff like that. Let's see if I can find the right section. Here we go. Here's where. And
yeah, I've seen this one in a GIF, isn't it? Isn't that the one that they always use in the GIF?
Yeah.
It's cool.
And they are absolutely hilarious. Like, they don't take this seriously, and they're doing a great job at it, and it's just perfect.
I'm curious, why is Tatted now in the chat, but he's not joining it? What are you doing? I even started working on your goddamn script for you, and then you went and bailed.
What is happening to my internet?
And bailed. I don't know. Maybe lower the feed settings so it's not trying to output max quality for your YouTube that you're running. Yeah. Sorry if I am slightly distracted every now and then. I'm using this time to enjoy the music and finish up some reports that I was meant to be doing at the same time as trying to figure out what I'm writing for Demi's thing.
What's up?
The internet's being a bitch. That's what's up.
Oh, well, that fucking sucks.
Yeah,
And it crashed.
Oh no. Or maybe it needed a restart. That was your laptop or something, wasn't it? Or was that the other way around?
It's a laptop. It was just that page in YouTube crashed. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Oh, gotcha. Oh well. Refresh. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah, I'm trying that right now. But so, what are some bands that like you really enjoyed? And coming from, I know how I've seen a lot of the stuff from Telltale about how the Jehovah's Witnesses does not allow a lot of worldly things. What are some things that, like, musically you were into that might have been a little touchy for them?
Is this while I was still one of them, or is this later?
Either one, just like something. I don't know.
Trying to think. Early on, I remember I still have like a mixtape somewhere with the music I listened to, and it was a lot of the old stuff that would both be played on the radio that I liked, and old rock. I was always into sort of rock music, and then not long after having left is when what was it? Hybrid Theory from Linkin Park came out, and that just exploded me onto this whole new world of music. And from there, I went into, pretty much everything metal, like outside of the old 80s, kind of what you call metal from the 80s. That's where I found like Disturbed, Korn, and anything that went from there.
Oh, I love
before then, it was just mainly pop music, like if it can play on the radio, you're okay to listen to it, sort of thing. And even then, some songs like, don't listen to the words too closely. It's the messaging,
Oh, yeah. One of the things I had, because I've always been, ever since I was in like grade school, I was a metalhead. So I've always liked Slipknot, Korn, Disturbed, Metallica, and Amon Amarth, death metal and stuff. And a lot of the people did not like the fact that I would wear metal band t-shirts to church for like youth group meetings or whatever at night.
Well, I'd never get away with that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I don't think they would allow that there, but I was Southern Baptist, which is still pretty crazy, but
They're a bit more lax on that, especially like with the Babs, especially. They're very hardcore on their dress attire. Like you gotta be super presentable. Your haircut back. If you're a guy, you can't have long hair. So obviously, if you've got any tattoos, you will have to have them covered. And that's only if you obviously had tattoos before joining the group. They were pretty hardcore.
Yeah, we also could not have long hair.
Yeah, they didn't like that either. I've got longer hair too, and they did not like that.
And it's all like they go back to a scripture saying something about Jesus finding long hair detestable in a man or something like that. Which is, fair enough. If that's in the Bible, that's what they're going to follow. But I mean, what a stupid fucking rule to follow. Of all things,
It is. You got plenty of rules about what to eat, how to cook stuff, how to do lawns, and how your hair is supposed to be, but yet you don't have anything about rape.
Yeah. No, if anything, it's condoned in cases.
Well, yeah. So, precursor to marriage, right?
That's why it's not a sin, because God doesn't mind it every now and then.
Try telling that to a Baptist.
No, or any of them really.
True.
It's like trying to say that it's the whole thing with the mass slaughter of people, and it's like, oh no, it's okay because it was God's will. It's like, no, it's still genocide.
Oh yeah. Do any of you still listen to any music from church? Say, just like, or even like contemporary. I never got into it really, so.
The music from our church was that like piano keys, you have it all done, and everyone sings in unison with,
it's always so creepy. It was always creepy.
Yeah.
But
no, so because I know that there are, especially like my older brother goes to a church where it's all that rock for Jesus, everyone's jumping around on stage with them, guitar and drums and doing all the, oh god, it's just disturbing. Like I can imagine if people came from a church and wanted to still listen to that sort of music, if that's just who they are, whatever. But no. Ugh.
Yeah, I can't. And I think South Park did it the best, their episode about Christian rock. And literally...
yes.
literally any love song, you just put Jesus in it, and there you go.
And you got to hit. Exactly. Was that the Finger Bang?
No, that wasn't. That was
that another band? That was trying to be a boy band. That's
boy band,
right?
Yeah. When they did the Christian rock one after the LimeWire and Napster ordeal with Lars Ulrich from Metallica, and
that's right. Yeah, and he was yeah.
And it was absolutely just awful, but hilarious.
They're pretty much the masters at that, Trey and Matt.
Oh yeah, they're great at that. I keep wondering because they've attacked everybody from like the Catholic Church to regular religion to Muslims and Scientology. And I keep wondering if they're ever going to go into something like Hinduism or Buddhism, because that would be hilarious to see.
Well, they do sort of touch on it when, they do a combination of religious characters, like the one that they did, the Super Best Friends. They'll have the different funny gods and they'll play at it a little bit. But would it be that maybe they're not to say that they're not familiar, but it's not their backyard, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I see that they normally focus on what's in their backyard, like in American societies as a problem. And then that's not a major outstanding thing with like Hindus, for example, like aside from maybe people getting them confused for a Muslim,
True. Yeah, I actually remember a shooting a while back that was in the news where someone shot a Hindu gas station worker because the guy thought he was Muslim.
Yeah. No,
America.
Well, no, it happens. Maybe not to that extent, but that sort of discrimination at least happens here as well. Just we don't have the dickheads don't have guns.
Yeah, that might be a
I was
part
going to
of
say
the
we
issue.
don't got guns, but that's a lie. We got guns. We just dickheads don't have them.
Yeah, that might be part of the issue. But a good segue. Go into like religious music. Have you heard Scientology's music?
I know I have because I've watched so much of the stuff in Scientology, but I couldn't pick it right now. Like to know they're kind of crazy.
They, and maybe it's just me, but as soon as you get on the outside and you start looking at this music, you look at it and you're like, this is disturbing. This is not normal.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually goes back to the same sort of thing with dub music has the same problem. You read the words just without being in that place singing it in a song with everyone else. You just read through it and you're like, what the hell? You know, like the actual messaging to this is kind of not cool. Makes it a little bit squeamish in some cases, to be honest.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's all about blood and burning forever, pretty much. Honestly, I'm surprised there's not a bigger Christian metal.
I walked away for like a few minutes, and all I hear is that it's about blood and burning shit, and I'm like, okay, now.
We're talking about religious music.
Oh, well, that sounds about right then.
And I'm really surprised there's not a bigger Christian metal scene because that fits perfectly.
Well, there is a reasonably big one, but there's actually only so much of a market for it. It's not as big of a market as people would think.
Oh yeah, there's not much crossover. Most of the people I've met that are actually into metal are usually atheist or agnostic because of just the outlook people have on them for it.
No. I was thinking of this one song I ever learnt a little bit of on the keyboard or piano. Is a JW song called "Marriage is God's Arrangement," and I loved just knowing the tune that I could play it, and I never really thought much about it, the actual song itself, because you just sing it in church and it is what it is. But looking back on it and actually going through all the words, it's like, this is really anti-gay people, like hardcore. You know, fuck.
Surprisingly, really.
No, I know, but honestly, when you're not thinking we're anti-LGBTQ, we're not, discriminatory, we don't hate people. That's not what you're thinking. You know what I mean? Like, there are people like that do have that hate, but general people in a religion aren't seeing that, or at least in my case. And so it was a shock. It was something that when it wasn't until after coming out that of the religion that I've read back on those lyrics and gone, wow, I didn't see that that's what this was about. And because of the way it's written so subtly, if you're not thinking that, you won't think it. You'll just happily sing it and it'll slowly get ingrained.
Yeah,
it's all part of their brainwashing techniques.
It's kind of funny too because kind of the same basic thing happens with some secular songs that kind of enter churches. One of the biggest examples I can talk about is Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen.
Yeah. And
I can't tell you how many
they'll not get the actual meaning and they'll just run with it because it's such a sort of emotive song. It gets that, and that's all you want in a church is the emotions running. And so it still works despite what it's going on about.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many people have actually told me that they thought that was a religious song. And I'm like, no, It's about sex. That's literally the whole point of the entire song. And
most songs are, when you think about it, or if you get down to the crux of things.
Even a lot of like Song of Solomon and Psalms is about sex.
Oh yeah. I mean, it can be pretty obvious too. In some places. Shit, Moses. I'm gonna have to mute, brother.
Okay.
It won't be long.
Hello.
Hey, you're back. Did you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
What? I did not hear what you had said.
We were talking about like religious music and stuff like that, and if how the lyrics, you just don't understand what they're actually about until you really look at them. And I brought up how Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen is so much seen as a religious song by so many people, but it's not.
Bro, I have no idea who the hell or what the hell that is.
All right. What?
I listened to whatever. What?
You don't know Helena Cohen and Hallelujah. I mean, those two things just didn't click.
No.
You might have heard the Jeff Buckley version, which is better.
It's a good version.
I don't think I've heard any of that whatsoever.
Have you not? Bullshit. What about you watch Shrek?
Yes.
Yes. Donkey and Dragon and their little love thing by the river, they play Hallelujah. You know the song.
Oh, that song. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. How is it that that's the way it connected? Like that? Jesus.
Because it's a donkey fucking a dragon. That's how.
That's a good point. It sticks in the memory, doesn't it?
You get drunkies.
Oh,
God. But no, I like that song.
Yeah, but it comes into churches, and I've heard people sing it, and they don't really understand what it's about.
Well, because they hear Hallelujah, and anytime someone hears Hallelujah, they automatically associate that with being religious.
Yeah, it's a God song. And it's the emotion that they can sing it with again too, because you can
and I mean,
much forget the verses and just sing the chorus even. And
yeah, I didn't hear. I don't think I've ever heard the original, but hearing it in Shrek alone, I mean, you can hear the emotion in his voice as he sings it, and it just because of the emotions plus the word Hallelujah, they just automatically think, oh, this must be religious.
They really don't need to put too much more thought into it, especially if it's just your general people that, everyone knows the song, so they're all going to sing along, and they're all going to feel that lovey-dovey, godly feeling that the pastor wants their church members to feel. So it works.
And that's all it takes. You just gotta...
That is all it is.
And here is just a mumbling of like the whole entire first part of that until he gets to the Hallelujah. He's like, but you don't really care for music, do you? I mean, seriously, all you have to hear is bits and pieces of the song itself, sing it, and then the very second it gets to the chorus, be like, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yeah,
and that's it.
And I guess it's because the religious semblance in it, because he mentions David and he mentions
Goliath,
and then the holy dove, and that kind of references Samson and stuff. But
I mean, because the part that I was mumbling, I think, as a matter of fact, there was.
What?
That's just the trick in the writing. Like, that's the way it's, if anything, used for that market in the writing. A lot of songs do that. You'll find a lot of bands who are, the members are all atheists, yet they'll still have songs that sound really religious. And it's not that they're actually religious, it's just that they're there to hook an audience. And that's all. Once you're hooked to the audience, you're good. You're golden. They don't need to know what it's really about.
Yeah, when you get to a certain point when you're making music, you really are, and I'm sorry, this is just about every single form of music, you're really pandering to your audience. I mean, that's why people who live out in the country like country music because they're pandering to their audience. I mean, hell, even Bo Burnham has an entire joke about that. I mean, yeah, and I mean it's everything is pandering to your audience. You know what your audience. Once you have an idea on what your audience is going to be, all you have to do is write music to accentuate the norms and that
their norms,
genre.
their lives, yeah, it's a form of personalization, and that's the way you make bucks.
I mean, hell, one of my favorite songs is by Keith Urban, and it's a little bit of everything. And I mean, I know for a fact because in part of the song, he says, you know, I don't need a ranch or a big piece of land, but I like to get a little bit of dirt in my hands. It's like, I doubt that he ever actually has gotten any dirt on his hands, period. But I like the song because I like the melody and I like all this other stuff. Well, I mean, I don't know the guy. He might do it, but I just don't. I personally can't see it.
I can't either. Thanks, Australia, for that.
And like I said, I like the song.
Find a picture.
Are you finding a picture of him?
I'm like Keith Urban in dirt. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture.
Okay. Oh, okay. But yeah,
and he's Australian too.
He's Kiwi technically, but yeah.
Oh, there's what's Kiwi?
Kiwi is New Zealand.
Oh.
And I've only known that because of Nacho.
All the best Kiwis are Australian.
But
I've heard them call Ken Ham that before, so
yeah, but Ken Ham is from Australia.
Yeah, he's a wanker. The other guy's from Kiwi land, isn't he? The banana bloke.
Yeah, I think he's from. I think he is actually New Zealand.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That might just be a shoot. That doesn't show him in dirt. That doesn't help.
But
I give up. I don't mind some of Keith's music though. He's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I like Keith Urban's music, but I mean, there's just so much about what he's, you know, when he says that one line, when you look at him, you think you can't picture him being the type of guy who does get dirt on his hands, and it's because he's pandering to his audience. He knows what his audience does. He knows what his audience wants to hear, and he personalizes it with them. So he says, I like to get a little bit of dirt on my hands.
And that is straight up just like that Bo Burnham skit.
Yep. Oh, yeah. When he's like, cold beer. I mean, that literally gets almost, if not all, almost all of the country music fans. Right there. Cold beer. Yep, that's me.
That one line, and all of a sudden they got a little chode going on.
Yep.
And I remember the country.
I mean,
I remember being an Outback boy.
I'm trying to think of an actual song that's like really, really, really good at pandering to the audience when it comes to country.
We out west where the rain don't fall. I got a job with a company drilling for oil. It pays the rent, living and working on the land. Ever heard that one?
Sounds somewhat
very familiar.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name that sung it, because when I went and saw him, he was so drunk he couldn't even stand up to sing on stage.
Is it Hank Jr.?
So no, that's a good guess though.
Although I gotta say, I like a lot of Hank Jr. One of my favorites has to be Family Traditions.
I always get beer on my tears just straight away. It played like every second song at my nana's house. That and Johnny Horton.
Oh, Johnny Horton's. I still like Johnny Horton.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, my favorite.
Wow, I never thought that we'd end up talking about things like this.
Yeah, one of my favorite.
Like heavy metal, screamo.
Oh, dude, I love everything. That's why I was like, anybody,
That's
come on.
awesome. Yeah, no, why not?
Except rap and pop. I can actually listen to
What about
some rap.
Eminem? You don't like Eminem?
I can listen to. I like him, but I just not too
Yeah,
much.
what about Tupac? What about Tupac?
I like Tupac.
Is it more about the new R&B kind of rap, like
It's the new
gangster rap
mumble.
kind of
It's
shit?
the new mumble rap. Like, what's a good
I don't even know
example
what that
of?
means.
I'm trying to think of a good example of that.
Like you have people like
Lil Pump.
dude with
That's a good one.
who?
Lil Pump. He is god
Oh,
awful.
right, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even think of that as really rap.
It's
but
funny.
therefore-
It's funny because there's so many different things that I learned whenever I was living in Alabama about rap music. Like this one, I always heard this song that kept saying "bird" in the song from just listening to these guys who would be listening to music and singing the song that they're listening to, and it have to do with bird. Like there's one song that said like 2 birds for a show, go ahead and book it. And I had no fucking clue what the hell that meant until finally I asked them, I was like, what the fuck is a bird? I mean, I know it as the animal and flipping the bird, but what the fuck is a bird? And he's like, you don't know what a bird is? I was like, no. I was like, what is it? He said, a bird is the monetary equivalence of 2 kilos of cocaine.
Did he literally?
You what?
He literally did. He literally say it like that because that would be hilarious.
Well, he said that he probably said something along the lines of it being the same amount of money you get for selling 2 kilos of cocaine. And I was like, the fuck? I was like, oh shit. And so it made more sense now because 2 birds for a show, that's the equivalent of getting getting the same money amount of 4 kilos of cocaine. So for just one show, it's like, damn. And then there's one song where he sit there and say they did this little skirt, skirt, skirt. And I was like,
I know that one. I know that one.
I was like, so I asked him, I was like, what the fuck is that? And they said, he's like, okay. He goes, you remember what bird was, right? I was like, yeah. I was like, all right. He's like, when you're cooking in the kitchen, cooking up that meth, you sit there and take that fork and you scrape it at the bottom of that pan. It makes that skirt, skirt, skirt noise. And I was like, holy shit, these people are fucking geniuses for coming up with all these different things that people like me would have no fucking clue what it is. And so, but then you hear some people who do things like, and it's like,
I love
that. Oh, I don't even want to know what that is.
I love the edits of that video where it's just like there was a great one where it had just this fat guy with a machine gun.
Yeah, but I'll just
no idea. It sounds funny though. This is why you need the LinkedIn.
Literally, these are the people who are rapping these days. This is the mumble raps. Is they'll sit there and be like, assuming it's making just random noise effects, and it's like, please stop. And come to find out, it may one day I may figure out or find out that was actually some other kind of noise to mean something else. But for right now, it's just like, no, please just, I don't know what you're doing, but just stop it. Stop it now. I like Lil Wayne, but I only like his older stuff. I don't like his newer stuff. I don't like his older stuff because his older stuff, he sounded really, really whiny.
This is just for Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mumbo number 5.
Mumbo number 5.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car, come on,
Actually,
let's ride to the liquor store.
I played that guy on our grade 4 like end of year performance thing we do for the school. Every year you do a thing in I don't know what you call it, elementary school, primary school, young school. You do a performance at the end of the year, and ours, we did it to that song, and I was the Blue Bagger guy. And fuck me, I never felt so much like a pimp in my life. Standing there with all the girls coming up. Like, yeah, I ain't in grade 4, but I'm still thinking of girls at grade 4, so.
I had whenever I was younger, because we definitely, since I was part of this religious thing, we never listened to anything with cussing in it. So as a child, I got this Disney tape, a cassette tape, and it was all of these songs like Mambo Number 5, but kid versionized. Like, for instance, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car, come on, let's ride to the candy store around the corner. And literally, and God. they even did American Pie. Except for it wasn't the Jedi version. Huh?
Was it the Jedi version or the Star Wars version?
The Star Wars thing.
Yeah. That was
Jedi I admire most.
Everywhere.
Met up with Darth Maul, and now he's toast. And I'm still here, and he's a ghost. I guess
that's Weird Al. I love him.
Yeah,
I love Weird Al.
We actually had to learn. We had to learn that version in school, and I objected because I had learned the actual song. No, we're learning the fucking real thing. Or if anything, if you guys are going to sing that Star Wars version, I'm singing the real thing. I think this was grade 5 now, so yeah.
Just scream it over everyone else.
Although I gotta say, the thing that made me laugh the most was the whole entire chorus when he goes, "My, this a Anakin guy, maybe Vader someday later. Now he's just a small fry." I was like, "Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?"
Which, I mean, it's Weird Al. He does parodies. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I remember I got a kid's version of a Nickelback song one time.
Oh,
what?
What's going to be worse, the actual song or the kids version?
Well, I'm gonna have a lot of people hating on me right now, but I really do enjoy Nickelback.
I don't mind some Nickelback. Throw it on in the background. I won't necessarily skip it.
I know that. Let's see here. There's
I really liked Someday when it first came out.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I just really enjoyed that song.
I also enjoyed How You Remind Me. That was a good one from the Silver Side Up album.
And that was when they were really good. I mean, that was honestly a really good song for them.
Yeah.
And I remember whenever Dark Horse, or I remember when the album right before Dark Horse came out. I forget. Oh, Animal. Came out. Everyone hated the Rockstar song. Everyone hated it. I liked it.
It was played so many goddamn times.
That's what ended up happening, because it wasn't actually a bad song. It just was on constantly.
Yeah. Well, the people I hung around, they really hated Nickelback, and they were talking about that and how shallow it is because it's about being rock stars. And I'm like, and all I kept thinking in my head was, the way I saw it was like they were making fun of the rock star lifestyle, showing that people in the rock star lifestyle are pieces of shit people.
That kind of makes a lot of sense. That kind of goes with it.
Yeah, I mean, because especially if you go with their very next album title of Dark Horse, I mean, when you think about it, it kind of seems like that's what they're doing. Is like, because why else would you highlight all the worst parts about being a rock star? Being in, trying to find, it's like everybody's got a drug dealer on speed dial. No one's who wants to truly be a rock star are going to ever focus on the bad shit. They're going to focus on all the cool stuff, oh yeah, you'll be famous and all this other stuff, and just focus on that. They won't focus on the negativity of being the rock star.
And now that you've said that, though, the whole next Dark Horse album feels like a parody album now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. And
Because
go ahead.
no, it's just like it feels funny now instead of what happened.
Yeah. And so I was coming at this from that point of view, and they're like, "Oh, they're just being so shallow because they're, talking about being a rock star." And I'm like, I don't see it that way, but okay, whatever. One of my favorite from the Dark Horse one happens to be which song was that? That was the far too pretty to begin with. Hold on, I'm trying to think. I'm singing the chorus in my head so that way I can remember. Let's see. Just by shaking hands.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Like the far too pretty to be giving it cheap. That's why she's making 6 figures, working 3 days a week. Yeah, she'd even make a promise in the promised land. She didn't make it this far by just shaking hands.
Why are there 3 of me now? There are 3 of me.
What is this nonsense?
I have no idea what's going on.
You're duplicating. Did you and the goose get up to something? I look away for 2 minutes, and you're multiplying.
One of them died.
Okay, we killed one.
Okay.
One of those, and you're on a cross anyway. So.
I'm gonna see about killing, and I'm gonna see about killing the other one too.
But yeah, so that entire album seems to be, like you said, it just seems to be a parody of life in general. Because, I mean, hell, they have one song that's called pretty much sex. And, there's like S is for the simple D, D is for the ecstasy, X is to mark the spot because that's the one you really want. And then they're like, it's never, sex is never, it's like something about it's never a question. It's only the answer because the answer is yes. And so, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I've killed the other one. Sorry.
Yeah, so, I mean, that entire album seems to be nothing but a parody of life in general.
And now that, and the next go round is another good one from that one too, that really, you have opened my eyes about Nickelback. They're just a parody band. Hello?
That isn't that what they sort of, not necessarily a parody band, but that they intentionally they openly took advantage of the easy avenues to become popular and basically wealthy, and to expose that, not necessarily in a complete way you'd imagine Weird Al might do it, but in their own way. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to take advantage of this and we're going to live like fat kings. Why not? Or at least they still do expose it through their songs. It's just most people are too dumb to click on.
I feel like I was too dumb because now all of a sudden I see that and it's hilarious.
It's all about it's a bit of speculation because it depends on really what their intent in their heart is, whether they're doing it to just be rich, famous, fuck everybody else. We are actually the pricks here, or if they are sort of have that, if in real life they're perfectly pleasant, and they, if it is just a complete facade, basically.
Yeah, straight up like Freudian slip and everything.
Mm.
What? The purple. I tried to kill my twin once, but it confused and shot the wrong one. Wow. Okay, now that I've got a free screen, I'm reading the chat, and I feel like it.
Yeah, Don's been having a lot of fun. We went from Mambo number 5 into some what is it? We got a few random things, but we ended up basically going into Manson, which is awesome. getting some new shit happening, and then I'm just picking on him because he's a Canadian and he speaks funny.
No, Canadians.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Whoa.
this right here is the bassist for From the Gallows. This is the guy
I
that
guess because he has BAS in his name, so I'm like, well, that must be the bassist. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Sorry, g'day, mate.
So, what's up, man? Okay, I am currently in a vehicle right now. I just realized I have a video on. I don't know. I feel weird now. I'm the only guy that has my face.
Don't drive and stream. That's dangerous. And you
feel
can get
naked.
fined.
I drive and stream all the time.
I do too.
I know, but you're an idiot.
I drive and listen and talk.
Let me see here. There we go. There's my
I forgot what you're.
Wouldn't use anything else. This is how I feel in real life. All right. So I will say I am in a vehicle. So if I'm loud or there's any background noise, just let me know and I'll do my best to mitigate it.
We will yell at you, definitely.
I'll
That
definitely
works.
yell at you.
That works. That's a very good notice. Well, what did I come in on, guys?
Well, we were just talking about how we've had a revelation that Nickelback is actually just a parody band.
Ah, yes. Well, yeah. I assume a parody of real musicians.
No, a parody of the rock star lifestyle, just making a joke out of it.
Well, not necessarily just the parody of that, but a parody of just they're making songs that parody life itself.
Oh, I can see that. I feel like, am I the only one that feels like Five Finger Death Punch is a Nickelback of metal?
Well, I mean,
can
because the reason why we got onto that was because I was telling him how whenever Rockstar came out and the album Animal Period came out, I liked it, but a lot of people around me didn't, and they were saying, "Oh, they really didn't like the song Rockstar because it was just people bragging about the Rockstar lifestyle." I was like, "Well, if you actually think about it, they're actually making fun of the rock star lifestyle because whenever they're pretty much putting out all of the horrible shit that comes along with being a rock star.
Yeah.
And when you look at it like that, the entire song is just them shitting on every single rock star. And I think that when that happened, probably a lot of the rock stars got pissed off and actually said something to their fans about Nickelback. And then that's where all the hate came from.
Yeah. Now, see, I could see that too. And I have my own theory about why there's so much hate for Nickelback. And I feel like, it probably started with 4chan or something. And it became like a small, inside meme. And then with any meme that is around long enough, more people get a hold of it. So it became a meme to hate Nickelback, and then it became ironic, and then unironic, and then it just stayed around for so long that there was just that in the end, whether it was ironic or unironically, there was just this huge amount of hate for Nickelback, which honestly, in my honest opinion, I don't feel like is deserved as much because I've heard far worse bands than Nickelback, and they're not really a bad band. They're really good at what they do, which is make radio hits, and they are great at that. And that's their sound, I'll be the first to admit I jammed Rockstar when it came out, dude. Like that was one of my main songs, and I wore it out like I wore it out like I assume many other kids did, But they're just good at what they do, and I'm not saying it's like a haters thing. It's just it was a meme that just didn't that wasn't mercifully killed like so many other ones, I don't know. That's I feel like. I don't mean to blather and talk too much.
No, but yeah, there are a lot of memes that deserve to die.
Yeah. I feel like Pepe probably should have gotten a bullet before, or not before anything specifically. Just I feel like Pepe has been around longer than the usual meme. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other ones.
Uganda Knuckles?
No, that needs to live forever. That's a beautiful thing. That, and I'll tell you why Uganda Knuckles is such a beautiful meme. Because it takes me back to the days of like the early internet when it's because it's such a pure meme. It's born out of just sheer stupidity. It's not like making making fun of anything necessarily. It's just literally like down knuckles. Like it's just a dumb thing, and it's just
Do you know the way?
it'll make you laugh. Yeah, it's a stupid phrase, man, and it's so great.
It kind of
Best
like
meme
those
of
old
20.
ones, like all
Yeah,
your
like polls
base.
closed. Yeah, or all your basers are belong to us. Yeah, like the classics, man. Oh yeah.
Well, since we've been talking about music and now we have a musician in here, what are some of the funny stories you have about music? We've discussed about just like different kinds of music that we like. Introduce yourself and tell us something about you.
Okay. Well, I am currently in a band that I play bass for. Um, we are a metal band. I guess if you had to categorize us, we would probably be metalcore. Um, although I hate the word. It makes me feel dirty saying the word metalcore. Um, just because you know for the longest time I didn't like metalcore, but you got to think about it. You know, whenever it blew up in the late 2000s, it was the whole like scene kid shit right there, and it was all like the colorful hair and the whiny blah, all that shit. Um, but that's what makes me feel dirty. But anyways, we'd probably be a metalcore band, but not like that. But anyways, I do play bass. I play a 5-string Ibanez, and it makes me feel all warm inside. It's a pretty good instrument, I feel like. As far as fails, dear God, I cannot tell you how many times like I've had problems with just basic like wiring connections. Just like because I have a rack case, and a rack case is just something that holds like your amp, or if you have like a processor or a tuner, or like a rack mount tuner, stuff like that. And you don't realize how dumb you are until you have to do a connection chain of all those things. Oh God, it's broken me down before. Like I've had to just sit there like a baby and just wonder like, why is square no go in circle holes? Huh? You know.
Your
And
wireless.
yeah, oh God, wireless connections. Jeez, man, those are like an entirely different animal. I actually need to get a new one because mine is having problems currently with my bass where it's not. It's for some reason it won't function with my bass, and so I just want to throw it across the room, but I paid too much for it.
I told you last time. It's an error between the user and the device.
I think I just got voodoo shit on my on my gear. Something going on, man. Like I remember one time specifically where it was after a show, and it was the first practice after a show, like the next week, and I had changed nothing on my signal chain or nothing at all. I literally just put my bass in my case and loaded it up and put it in my truck. And so whenever I booted everything up for practice the next week, like I was getting no sound at all. And I was racking my brain on what it was. And sure enough, it was the goddamn wireless. And for some reason it wouldn't connect to my bass. But because of that, I was troubleshooting everything but my wireless. So I had redone my signal chain like 3 or 4 times. And so this was a multi-hour affair. So by the time I found out it was my wireless, I had to redo my entire signal chain once more because I realized how bad I had fucked up. And yeah.
Oh.
It's one of those things where it really makes you just want to like it really makes you want to say, just why can't I just plug a cable into my amp and just do that? Why Why do I need a tune? Why are tune? Why can't I just sound like shit
Why
and
is it
that'll
a
be okay?
thing?
Yeah,
Why can't it just be perfect straight away? Like, why aren't
yeah,
we that
exactly.
advanced in technology by now that we could just plug it in, auto tune, done? That you don't have to do it. You know?
No,
How about
precisely.
that for an option?
Well, I mean, isn't that what Skrillex does?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Dubstep.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Don't talk to me like I know what I'm talking about now.
Hey man, you're here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh jeez.
What's
If you need someone to sound like Johnny Cash, I mean, I can always do that for you. But other than that, fuck all for me.
And it's not actually too bad, too.
I mean,
I
that's pretty
reckon.
legit.
some death metal with Johnny Cash lyrics over it?
That'd work.
That'd be an
I'm
interesting
trying to
combo.
remember. There's actually a genre called death and roll, where it's like rock and roll, like rockabilly stuff with death metal. And it's so
I think
weird.
I've heard a bit of that, or something
Yeah,
along those lines.
Oh man, it's like a fever dream. It is so odd, but it's so cool at the same time. Like I'm so intrigued by it. Like, how did these two things come together? But nonetheless, it's like
That's the
it's
way I
like
felt when I discovered the country music and rap had combined.
Oh God.
oh god. Except how do these two come together, but not in a good way? Yeah. Look, as someone, and Strawman can vouch for me with this. As being from the South, like as the Deep South, it is a plague, man. Oh God, it is a plague upon our people. I swear. Thankfully, there's like a sub movement within the country genre that hates. It's called it goes by many things like pop country or bro country or hip hop is another one, and it's
You
just
say
it's just,
hick hop.
Hip
Yes,
hop.
hip-
Yes, it's a thing.
yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
And see, I feel like that's fairly accurate. So that's one of my favorites because it's so good. But yeah, and man, like it's so bad. Like it makes me just feel physically ill whenever I hear like just some rap. It's always got to be a normal country song, but wait, there's a fucking rap verse just randomly in
Then
like
there's rap. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
See.
and it just
Jesus Christ.
it's like
Yeah,
it's like
you've got
shitting on a pile of shit. It's just
you've got Colt
What's
Ford.
worse is, sorry, I was just gonna say, if you separated them, like the country part might have actually been all right without the rap. The rap might have kind of been all right without the cut. Generally, in that case, not so much. But like a bit of it might have been all right of a song, but then with it all together, it's just ruined it.
oh no, exactly. No, that's exactly what it is. It's it's how I mentioned from earlier, about the square going into the circle hole. It's like they cut the circle hole to accommodate for the square walk, and
Yeah,
it's not good at all. It's not working
you
out.
still got those edgings.
Yeah, yeah, like the kids crying, and yeah, like, the mom doesn't get it yet.
Yeah,
Make it stop, mommy. Make it stop.
yeah. Instead of trying to play it over my shitty audio, I'm just gonna post it in the chat. But I've got a perfect example of hip hop.
Oh jeez, what's this fine
Yeah,
master
I'm
piece of
worried
shit?
now.
It's
Chat, YouTube or Hangouts? Throw it in the YouTube so everyone can see it.
I'm gonna throw it in the YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best idea. Intros.
Here we go. Send, damn it. There we go. Boss of the Sticks by Big Smo.
Oh, I've heard of that name. Oh,
See, in rap, they go little. In country, they go big.
yeah.
And like you see a
Big
lot of
Smo.
them do that. It is. That is some. And at one point, I loved it. And that it just makes me feel just defiled.
It was a different time then. You were a different person.
I was a very different person.
The fact that you look back at it now with shame just signifies how far you've come.
Shame.
Why is this? None of this makes sense.
Shame. But oh yeah, that straight up cringe. What's some cringy stuff that y'all were into? That looking back, you're like, how did I ever?
I'm a weird one because I go into little nostalgia phases listening to all the music I used to listen to, and I still like it. Like
See, I kind of
Backstreet Boys, you go those '90s boy bands and stuff. I got Savage Garden's been one that I've been learning a few songs to lately. So yeah, I mean, some people might call that cringy. Kylie Minogue.
Probably the cringiest thing that I can think of besides that country rap. I used to like "Blame It on the Rain" by Milli Vanilli. Oh my god!
Oh, Millie. No, that
No, I didn't expect to hear Milli Vanilli. I'll be honest. I mean,
You haven't known me well. You don't know me well enough, do you? I can still throw a surprise in there, but yeah, I used to love that song.
With me, I used to be a little bit of a dubstep kid. Back in old junior high days, I used to kind of subscribe to Monster Cat Media on YouTube, shit like that. I really dug it. I had Skrillex on my phone. Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites was like the shit back in the day. So probably dubstep, because I know like some people probably look back at it now with like disgust, I guess. So I suppose that.
The best description of dubstep I've ever heard was you record R2D2 trying to rap and a transformer with diarrhea.
Guys, I'll be right back. Sorry, might be a second.
All right, man. All right. Yeah, the bass drops are just Optimus Prime dropping a huge fucking log. Jesus.
I walked away, but I heard something about the country rap.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong with it?
I dropped a link in the chat. You've got to.
Oh, I know Big Smo.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I was just wondering what y'all thought about it.
Well, I believe I said it earlier. It's like shitting on a turd.
Well,
like that.
Yeah. Although some of that is good, actually. Some of the country rap is pretty good. Like the original version of Dirt Road Anthem is really.
Yeah.
With
I'll
Colt
always
Ford.
jam Dirt Road Anthem. Yeah, I will always jam that. I will say it's more like the Florida Georgia Line stuff, of like modern radio stuff. Now, yeah, Dirt Road Anthem is like it's. I'll kind of compare it to kind of like Gent in the metal world, where with Meshuggah, with the song Bleed, that kind of started the whole Gent movement. But none of them were ever as good as Meshuggah, and I feel like that's how it is with Dirt Road Anthem and Colt Ford. It started a sort of movement, but none of them will ever be as good as motherfucking Dirt Road Anthem, man.
Yeah, no, Dirt Road Anthem is awesome. Now, Colt Ford had some songs of his own, and it's either him or Big Smo, but I want to say it's Colt Ford, but he says in there, in one of his songs, how he was told that he couldn't sing, so he decided to rap instead.
Yeah.
And I'm back.
Hey, dude, fuck it. He's making a living, man. Shit. I'm trying to remember another one.
Another like the Lax, Loud Ass Crackers.
I will admit I have not heard of these.
Oh man, those were the jam back like mid 2008, 2009.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, like When I first got my vehicle, like I
Listen-
nearly like blew out the speakers doing that.
Listen to if no one's familiar with Colt Ford, listen to Mud Digger.
Mud digger.
Months ago.
Have you heard that song before?
I have not.
The
don't
entire
think I
song is about going mudding.
Yeah, man, mutton's fun as shit.
It is.
Huh?
You get a few drinks in you, just good, just love.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the song goes like Mud Digger. We dig mud by the pound. Something about,
I had that album.
oh, you have that album?
Nice.
Love the song.
Not Chapman, not Graham.
So what's I don't know if this has already been asked, but what's everybody's sort of primary genre they kind of stick to, if you do stick to the kind of genre?
Who's going first?
I know. Okay. I know me. I usually stick to metal. I kind of I listen to a lot of stuff, but I usually kind of tend to stay around the metal, death metal kind of stuff.
I should go for the late 90s grunge and then modern rock and then death metal and stuff. Maybe a little folk.
Oh yeah.
That can be pretty good. I pretty much go for anything, depending on my mood, but I can enjoy almost anything except maybe opera.
Yeah, that takes a lot of time and patience. It's sort of,
Yeah, I can have respect for it without enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree about that.
But otherwise, yeah, I'm like a free range chicken. I go just to whatever I enjoy at the moment
I feel you,
until I'm
man.
slaughtered.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
We've talked about like a lot of like American like folk country music. But what about some Australian? How's that? Not just
Most the you do get a lot of it, but I don't particularly follow what is Australian and what is not Australian. Like, there's a lot of the times when you hear an artist on the radio, they don't always, unless they specifically say it's local artist so and so. You don't know. It's just some fucking random person singing a new song. You can't tell whether it's Australian or American because the whole idea for an Australian artist is to aim for the American audience. So a lot of the time it's not, it doesn't stand out until they become big, or unless you're in the scene, and I'm not really prowling for new music these days. I used to, but no, don't have the time for it. So I pretty much just wait till I hear it on the radio, and then generally it's.
I will say I do actually know an Australian artist for a band. They're like a sick progressive death metal band. They're called Neo Blue with Scars. They're very cool. I don't know. I just felt cool knowing an Australian band.
They're cool. Yeah, I knew one back in the day. I had an album signed off to me to so that I could use for my films and stuff. And they were called King Mungie. I don't know where they ended up going after I got their album. They sort of, I don't know, they might have gotten somewhere. I just never followed them.
Something wrong with my mic.
I know pretty much like the only two Australian I know of is like Midnight Oil.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of background though.
yeah. You're pretty quiet, and then the background is.
I shall leave and then rejoin.
All right. But like the only Australian I know is like Midnight Oil, and then I know the song Waltzing Matilda.
Technically that's an old Outback poem, but yeah, that was
True.
written about 100k away from where I grew up.
Nice.
That song. And a lot of his Banjo Patterson was quite frequently in the area where I used to live. Not obviously at the same time.
Yeah. I but I had to actually like translate it. Like I did not understand what is.
Yeah.
Like I was like, "What's a swag man? What's a Tucker bag? What's a Billy Boyle?" I had to look all this up.
Oh God! Wow. Okay. Jesus Christ. No, I've come to learn these things myself. How many of my phrases I'll say thinking that everyone will know what I'm saying, and then you just don't. You just have no clue. Like, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's just a whole different vernacular.
Yeah. No, well, it'll happen. We're stuck out in the middle of a fucking island in the middle of the ocean. So, or between two oceans, I should say.
And everything's trying to kill you.
And everything's trying to fucking kill you. Yeah.
What did I miss?
Not least of which there's gravity that's against us because we're upside down. So we have to be held on by like this massive plate of Velcro that we've got across the country. And if that fails, we do have our safety strap on.
Yeah, because y'all just float off into space because y'all don't actually
exist.
exist.
We'll be gone. That's it. I mean, you get used to the blood rush into your head, though.
I feel bad for all those kangaroos and stuff now.
Yeah, before
just think, how do they hop around?
Before Velcro, Australia was just held down by a series of pulleys, I think.
Yeah, I know. That was back in the old days. Jesus, glad we don't do that anymore. Thank God for NASA. Wasn't it NASA with Velcro, or was that something else?
It wasn't NASA, but it was developed, and like they took it up pretty fast.
They took it up fast. That's right. Yeah.
It's kind of like
memory foam. That was NASA's.
Yeah, it's kind of like Tang. It's entered myth that Tang was invented for NASA, but really it wasn't. But it worked.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I did have to dip out for a little bit. What did I miss, guys?
We just talked about a little bit of like what I know of Australian music and Midnight Oil and that song Waltzing Matilda.
Oh.
And then talked about how I had to translate it because I'm an idiot.
All right. Well, what about AC/DC?
Now that I forgot about them. Oh.
What about NXS?
I must go. What's it called? Flagellate myself for forgetting about them. I must go repent.
I will say, AC/DC was one of those bands for me that they were a major part of me developing the music taste that I have now. But now I just can't listen to them, and it's not because I hate them or anything. It's just because I've heard them so many times, and it's been self-inflicted, But I know
that feeling.
I've eaten too much of it, and I can't eat it anymore.
I'm a bit like that for a different reason, but with ABBA. If there's any band that I just cringe at, really, when I listen to, it's ABBA. I'll still sing along, but because, they're not bad songs or anything. It's just my mum loves ABBA. Would play it constantly. One album she had over and over and over again. And so anytime any of those songs come on, I just cringe. I just cannot deal with it. And one of them, obviously, they're hits, so they're the ones that always get played.
Oh man, that's that sucks, man. I totally understand though, because like I know me and my brother helped our dad build a shop/garage type deal, at the house. And well, I had a best of the band Foreigner CD.
Oh yes, I love Foreigner.
Oh, they're great.
Get that played for you?
I can't listen to that CD anymore.
Yeah. Damn, that sucks. See, I'm glad it was for me, ABBA, because I'm like, I'm not missing that lunch, Like, it'd be so annoying if it was, because all of these other bands my dad and my mum listen to, I love, and they're great band. Like, they're all the old good music. That's a huge help for me when I was getting into what music I like, was their taste in music. So I'm glad, like, I'm one of those dudes that grew up listening to Elvis, and I still love Elvis or Johnny Cash or, you know, what's her name? Helen Reddy was my, you know, or Eartha Kitt, my mum loved. Cher, all those sort of artists. Still love them.
Yeah.
Oh, you're breaking up pretty bad there, brother.
Oh, me?
There we go. Now you're back.
Yep, we can hear you there. Yeah.
Okay.
You started squeaking or whatever.
I started squeaking.
Roboting.
Pretty much the only music that legit makes me cringe as soon as it starts playing is what my dad plays, and it is nothing but the Gaithers.
Gaithers?
The who?
The Gaithers, Southern Gospel.
Oh, fuck that. Cool.
Like, I cannot.
That just seems
like,
I don't know, man. Shit like that is just really like shady to me. Like listening to music with like religious undertones and messages just makes me feel dirty. Like
we talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad because like I just feel dirty. Like I feel like I just sold my dog for an 8-ball or some shit. Ugh.
Pretty much. Especially with this crowd, I think we all agree with that.
Oh fuck! That just reminded me of Caleb. Oh fuck
oh
me.
My god!
So I
Do
don't
y'all
know
have
if,
Caleb everywhere else? Oh my god, that is some of the cringiest music.
Yeah, because I hope not. Because what I just explained, music with like religious undertones. These aren't undertones. These are motherfucking overtones. This is like nothing but, sucking Jesus's dick and splattering on his back and shit. It's horrible. And I had a teacher in high school who would play it during the entire class period. It was a computer class, so we were all on computers, and he would play this Caleb music, and it's all just. Imagine the worst pop music you can think of, like simplest structure, like dumb, religious lyrics, oh Jesus, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family, fuck me in the face, it gave me like fucking PTSD, man. Like I can't hear Caleb without thinking of my fucking computer class from sophomore year.
Get that Vietnam 1,000-yard stare. You're like, you don't know what shit I've heard.
Oh man, like I would literally just go home and listen to like fucking, Cannibal Corpse or some shit, just to like cleanse my palate. And I know that sounds like some edgy bullshit, but like I needed something, man. Like
I know how you feel. I would leave church and blast "Redneck" by Lamb of God.
Yeah, man. It's horrible, and it sucked because there was always the stance of if you don't like it, say anything. Well, if you say anything, then you're the one asshole, So you really can't say anything. So because it's a deep South town, so of course nobody's going to object to fucking Jesus dick beating music. So it's a corner. I do not like being here.
There's one thing, at least in the outback where I come from, there's not that deep Christian vibe to everything. Even there are, lots of Christians, and we're predominantly Christian. They're not that hardcore about it. Or if you'd call that hardcore, I don't know. Nuts.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, man, I wish I wasn't, in the area I was born in. Just because of like the religious undertones and everything, they're so heavy. Like every woman that is every woman that is a parent is almost going to be overweight in their 40s and have that like live, laugh, love bullshit in cursive on the wall somewhere, and they're like carbon copies of themselves. It's horrible. And then,
Wouldn't just my initial thought is I wouldn't think it'd be any much reason good enough to say you'd want to be born elsewhere, given that the just basic ideals that we're born into some pretty cool places, you know, compared to other places in the world that, you know, we'd probably be dead by now.
well, that is true. I guess I got a
That's
bit
why
of
I was-
myself there.
I always love falling back on that, because even then when I know, like, I think, fuck, it sucks for this reason or that reason, I'm like, well, you know what? It's not all that bad, is it? Like, and I mean, I'm even on the internet here talking about it, so shit, who am I complaining?
Yeah, that is true. It's just maybe if I was born maybe like just 40 miles away, because where I live at is central Louisiana, and so if you don't know, central Louisiana is sort of it's
Take it
just a
down,
good
down,
chunk of
down, down,
Louisiana that is just fucking barren. Like the nearest big city is at least an hour away in each direction, and it's fucking barren. So if anything, that's why I would say I would like to be born somewhere else. Maybe not like, you know, drastically different country, but you know, maybe like 30 minutes away, you know, like something like that. But
I live in the town that the next closest town was a good, I'll talk in miles, a good 200 or 300 mile away. So you'd be driving 110 down the highway for an hour, 2 hours before you get, you know, to your next place. So a lot of these places, and we were the central hub, so a lot of these places are smaller than us, because we were the only one in the entire, like, about the size of Texas that had a hospital and schools.
oh wow.
And so we'd have people coming in, so, you know, 100 from all over the state, just to stay for a week, go to school, or stay for a week, go to work, and then they have to travel out back to their families, and, you know. And I thought the same thing, because I was like, fuck, I wish I lived in a city or something, you know, just down there, you know, it's not that far away. I'm out in the middle of butt fuck. We don't even have fast food, you know, like.
Jesus.
Oh man, I understand. I understand that totally, because we have one place in my hometown, and it's called Burger Bar, and that's the only
Is
sort
it
of
like
eating out place.
more just a fish and chip kind of cafe shop, or is it an actual fast, like, kind of trying to be a fast food joint?
Well, I mean, they have a drive-through and everything, and it's
Oh,
sort
nice.
of a fast food joint. Yeah. It's sort of, you could call it a fast food place, but it's
Ooh,
you know, we
fancy schmancy.
if you could call it that. I know there's like
No, yeah, I'm
some-
just kidding.
How do drive-thrus work upside down for y'all in Australia?
Oh, it's a fucking hassle, mate. You have no idea. If you don't have a
You have to pour
helicopter,
your
you don't go
drinks
through the
upside down?
drive-through.
You see, the vehicles
Yeah.
themselves are made to cling to the earth, but because everybody inside has to kind of focus on clinging to the earth, it's harder to just give the food out, so they have to throw it to the people in the car.
Yeah.
Need
that's
like
why
one of
we're
those
also good
t-shirt
at cricket
cannons.
and football and stuff. We're great catchers and throwers. You know, we're fucking awesome at that shit. There's a great gay community here too.
Australia's a lot different than I imagined.
They're all upside
Well,
down.
it's
They're all
not
stuck in the
only
gold
that.
road.
Not only that, but they don't even truly exist.
And yeah,
Oh,
we're all
shit.
figment of your imagination. So whatever you think of us, we're just a projection of your own thoughts.
Yeah, we're all hallucinating, not Joe right now.
Exactly.
This stream
Isn't
just
it,
got really fucking.
Shane?
Oh, it's just,
It-
Johnny's
This is-
here too.
Now we're gonna flip flop and say, or is Nacha just imagining all of us?
Like that Twilight Zone episode where
I'm
they're going to
on a
execute that
hardcore
guy.
acid trip.
I don't
You
know how
are
I feel
so-
anymore.
Okay, did you snort DMT, LSD, and meth? That's the only way I could explain that.
And maybe. I won't tell you if you don't tell.
Yeah, Australia is like that episode of Twilight Zone where they're going to execute the guy and the whole world's his dream. So as soon as they kill him, everybody else disappears.
You see what happens in
I
upside down
haven't seen
land
that,
stays
but
in
I had
upside
heard
down land.
Well, it stays here because we don't let anybody leave except for Ken Ham.
Yeah.
I can see why you let him leave.
Well,
Oh
and
yeah,
the thing
we
is,
even paid for his ticket over there.
and the thing is, even the reason why they did that was because even if he did come out with the truth of Australia, they would no one would believe him.
No, exactly. No one would believe that guy. Oh well, I mean, the people that do believe him are idiots. It doesn't matter. They can't do anything.
Thankfully, I was not one of them for very long. Like
Oh,
elementary school, and I was like, "Oh, evolution makes a lot more sense."
yeah, I was a bit like that too. I even when I was still a witness, I sort of personally sort of decided that there was more reason to think it could be both in my mind at that point. Like that was the way God did things, sort of thing. That's why I justified it.
Yeah, I was a Southern Baptist that was an old Earth creationist, so that does not go over very well. Oh,
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, man. I don't think anybody should be ashamed of, or maybe not. I don't know. I guess maybe not ashamed of what they used to believe, because you got to think about how just strong the propaganda is. So I wouldn't feel too bad about foreign beliefs. Unless you're like a flat earther and just I don't know.
Sorry, I
You
literally
just
had to disappear for half a second there.
No, I was just saying. I don't think anyone should be too ashamed of former
Shit,
beliefs, because
disappear again.
just the sheer amount of propaganda there is. So, and I sound like I have a tinfoil hat, but I mean, like religious propaganda. It's just it can be strong in a lot of places. And then I said, unless you're a flat earther, then you just need to reconsider your life.
yeah, you just need to test Eric Duvay's density theory. Just
So
top of a building. Just
there you go.
Oh,
I do have a genuine question, and I don't know how much research you guys have done into flat earthers, but do they believe that the Earth is flat, but the other planets are round, or is everything flat?
some do believe that.
Oh boy!
and then some say that they're just lights in the sky.
Oh, that's real fucking. That's real
Or
fucking.
they're just
commitment
projections
right
on the dome. Yeah.
You've
We're
got to
all
watch
just in the
some.
Matrix.
No,
We were
that's
just
the
talking about
official.
food before, and I'm so happy I live in the city. I can just sit here, order food, fast food, and I have Macca's now. It is so great. Sorry.
I know what that is now because it was one of the top things when I was like, "What is Australian?"
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Macca's, Mickey D's. I'm gonna be muted while I chomp because I don't want you to hearing all that.
That's totally fine.
But yeah. Whoa. Yeah, you need to watch some D Marble or Delano TV. They are a trip to watch. They are some.
It's very entertaining.
They're also great to watch while tripping.
Oh, God.
I've done that. And
Yeah.
it still didn't
It
make
can be quite
sense.
entertaining. No, it doesn't help, does it?
No, it made
Oh,
it even
shit.
worse.
Because then you're trying to put parts together that aren't there, but you don't realize that they're not there because you're fucking high. Oh shit. Oh
Then
boy.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're all just stuck to the other side of this big pancake down there. So Australia really doesn't matter. Unless you want to take Ken Ham back. And then you matter.
Mm-mm. No, no. Mm-mm. Never gonna happen.
Shit.
God damn it!
I feel like every country has that one asshole that they don't want. Then they want,
And we were lucky
this
enough for him to leave, so we're happy with the arrangement.
And we were lucky enough to get him from you. So thanks.
Oh, God bless your Christian hearts.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, he just has done so much for my faith and everything.
Oh, God. Well, I'm sure he has done a lot for a lot of people's lack of faith, or dissipating faith.
That's kind of what he did to me. It's like, no.
Well, yeah, cool. I wasn't sure if that's actually what you were going with, or if you were just like, being silly.
It's the backfire effect.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love that. Oh my God, I devoured that burger and now I want another one. I should have bought two.
Oh fuck! I know that exact feeling. I experienced that earlier today. It's the worst, man.
God damn, it was good though. That was.
I had Chinese.
Like a treat.
I had
Chinese people.
It was. They were babies, okay. It doesn't
No,
matter.
okay, that's acceptable. That's As long as it's part of our ritual, it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how
Nacha, how much do you love Men at Work?
The band. They did like that one song, didn't they?
Yeah, that one song that you absolutely love.
No, was it? No, it's not Solid Rock. What is it? Which one is their song?
Under, I believe.
You what?
Land Down Under. That's right. Yeah, that's them. Yeah.
I was combining two and saying Man Down Under. I see now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair cool.
Yeah, they had that one. I feel like I'm thinking of a different group right now than Down Under. I don't know. Yeah, but no, they're good though. Yeah, if you're Australian, you have no choice. They're your favorite band. Like that's just facts.
That's just facts. See, they're all your favorite band because you live in a land down under.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of the Seekers?
The Seekers.
I've heard more of a 60s band.
I think I've heard of them. Yeah.
They did a song, We Are Australian, which most people here actually consider our national anthem unofficially. But unfortunately, it's the meanings of it is sort of losing its love in the country, which is a lot like the way you'd think of America losing their love for the words on the bottom of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those.
Definitely.
It's a bloody good song, though. And the chick, what's her name? Lena Dunham or something? She has a beautiful voice. So yeah, it's a good song. I think this is the one they used to use for a Qantas ad. Maybe. I might be mixing it up with another one, though, but yeah. If I can link it.
I did think of another. What?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I did think of another Australian. Was it the song is "Everybody Help Yourself" by Tism? It's just so fucking weird.
Everybody help yourself.
TISM.
Yep.
Oh, what an odd name.
Okay. What the fucking odd looking
Everybody help yourself. And if you're Australian, help your goddamn self.
Give me a sec. I'm going to listen to this. Skip all this bit.
All right.
Get to the
I will
song.
say I have to dip out, guys. It has been fun. I
Oh,
should
you're
go
ready.
make it to the next music stream in case there is one. But it's been nice meeting you guys, man.
Nice meeting you too, man.
too.
Yeah, man.
Best
You
of
guys
luck
take it easy.
working on that band stuff, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Hope it goes
Peace,
well
fellas.
for you. Catch you around.
Later. But that one is
What in the fuck?
Drop the link to it in the chat because other people need to see this. Or wait,
This
did
is
you already do it?
ridiculous. Yeah, I got it. Bottom link there. The top one is "I Am Australian" by the Seekers, and the bottom one is this weird ass song by Tism. I've got it on a live panel thing, so you got to jump in like 2 minutes. But what the fuck?
What is even going on? Is this some more of that Australian drugs?
I don't know. Maybe. Have you heard of the band Red? What is it? Red Gum.
No, I haven't.
What's their most popular song? I was only 19, or only 19. Vietnam song. A lot of folk would know that from somewhere, probably. And they did a few funny songs as well, but most of them have lost their meaning given they were, I think, in the 80s. So it's a bit, not as funny anymore. But this song is a pretty good one, and they're a good band. The one everyone might know is Poor Ned. You all know Ned Kelly? Ned Kelly.
I know of him.
Yeah, he's like old Australian outlaw. Big old tales get told about that dude. And one of the songs by Red Gum that got really popular, at least here, was "Poor Ned, You're Better Off Dead. At least you get some peace of mind." It's obviously done a bit better than that because I'm not trying to sing it, but that's one of their more fun songs.
Yeah.
This one was more of a downer, but who cares? So, where are we? There we go.
God damn it, Safari! Quit trying to open these things. I'm trying to open it in YouTube.
Okay, close that. I got too much fucking open now. God damn it. All right. Sorry, what are we doing? Where are we? Oh, shit, I still meant to be doing reports. Fucking hell. Break.
Shit, I lost where we were. We started laughing about Tism.
We were talking about Australian music, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can jump to something else if we want. Because that's the only Australian thing I know is living in a land down under.
Let's jump to some goosey things.
You uncultured goose.
He's very cultured.
I'm very cultured,
Dude.
sir. Do you
Look
not
at that
see
monitor
my
with
top
that
hat, my
mustache.
mustache?
Just because he's got a fucking top hat and a mustache. Did you say he's dapper? He's not dapper. He doesn't have fucking... No one goes out with sleeveless arms hanging out like that and gets called dapper. That is not the way it works.
This is how this works. This is how this works.
That is frat bro, if anything.
He's fret dapper.
Frat dapper.
He's a fapper.
I'm Brett Tapper.
He's a fapper.
Dapper quack. God damn it. I still want another burger. That's not cool. Oh, it's so expensive just for one more burger.
How expensive is it?
Oh, no, it's just the delivery charge. It's just if you're only buying one thing, it's like pretty bullshit. Because you're basically paying for two. It's about $7 where I am. But we got, full meal and stuff, so it didn't matter for how much the delivery was. But if I'm just buying it for one burger, it's a bit of a waste. Be better off going and fucking picking it up from the shop myself. Yeah, brown out.
I feel like y'all out America
This is
us because y'all can get delivery McDonald's.
Yeah, I've been able to do that. Like all of the fast food chains, as far as I know, do delivery in Singapore. They've outdone America just for probably decades now.
Yeah, except for the fact that, in order to do delivery, you have to do it through Favor or DoorDash and all that stuff, and they don't even deliver to certain areas.
Yeah, well, it's the same here. Like, what, you think you're so special? You're in America. You think if they can't figure it out on a little tiny island of Singapore that you're all going to get perfect coverage over there in America? Get real.
Look, this is America.
We could do this in America. We're number
This is
one.
America. This is America, home of the lazy.
Home of the what?
Home
Home of the lazy.
Oh, the lazy. Yeah.
Yes. We want our shit to be delivered to us, so that way we don't have to go out and do shit.
Wait, so now, just for clarity, are you going to outdo everyone and have it that they have to not only deliver it to your door, but walk in and deliver it to you personally, wherever you're sitting?
They have to feed you.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, then they got to feed you.
Like
What
baby
you think
bird
this is?
style. Like they chew it up and they.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, because who wants to actually do the chewing yourself? Like, there's no fun in that.
I mean, no, I mean, if
And I'm surprised these don't all have just feeding tubes, you know?
it's coming.
Was it?
It's going to be
feel
glorious.
Like it's something on The Simpsons where there was a big funnel and then a chicken or a turkey or something being shoved down his throat. I don't know if that was The Simpsons or something else.
That was
That's
The
just what
Simpsons.
mental image. It was. Oh, God.
Mhm.
The funnel might not have been there, but I could just see something like that happening. And Homer always, it's just Homer comes to mind.
Yeah, Homer became a big, fat, round person.
That's right. It was in that episode. I love that episode too, because that's when he gets stuck in the nuclear thing and he saves the day basically. And he's got that little bird ticker thing to click the keyboard.
Yep.
Which one's the any key? Fucking hell. Isn't it weird? I remember that episode, which is like one of the really old episodes, better than any other, later 10 years, I suppose, of Simpsons.
I have never seen an episode of Simpsons.
Oh my God. You're missing out. I mean, fair enough if you don't want to watch the late, the new stuff and whatever, but you've got to at least watch the early stuff. There are some amazingly good shows there.
I wasn't allowed to watch. I was in a
Neither was I originally. I had to do a lot of catch up.
Yeah. So like Family Guy, I watched it in secret because it actually came on at a time I could watch it.
I was like that with was it South Park? Because they had it on at a time I was meant to be in bed, and at this point we just got given an old little tiny black and white, and South Park was on the SBS, which is like the shit channel that you never get good reception on. So we would have it there, almost no audio, so no one could hear it. Just trying to get this fuzzy black and white image of South Park, but loved it.
Oh yeah, I have every episode on DVD now, and I love it. It is.
God, y'all are lame. I was up.
Awesome.
Y'all are lame because I was up late at night trying to watch softcore porn.
Yeah, that was what happened. That literally goes on after South Park on that channel that we used to watch. So
See,
that was there. That was just only on Friday and Saturday nights.
we never had like HBO or anything like that where I was, so you couldn't.
No, this was used to be on public access. It was just some little rinky-dink, softcore. You might see a boob here, type of thing, and that's what I was trying to do was watch that.
You were such a bad child.
For us, it was all the foreign films. Was that all? This channel had all the foreign-speaking films, and it was late night, so they didn't have to worry about ratings. So a lot of the times, French films or Spanish films would be nudity all through it. Fuzzy or not, you'll stay up for it.
Or dial-up. Trying to get it on dial-up was awful.
Oh my God. No. I definitely don't miss dial-up. I know it's weird. I kind of miss the sound of it dialing up because there's something really nostalgic about it. I don't like the idea of it always being the way I have to connect to the internet, but every now and then I have to just go and find an old video that has that sound, and I can just listen to it. And I'm like, it's like the old disk drive, like a floppy disk that when it's trying to read. Oh, nostalgia factor through the roof.
Well, then just get it as a
love old
ringtone on your phone.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I've been thinking
I would
about it,
kill
but then it'll
somebody.
go off too often.
I would kill
It'll
somebody.
drive me nuts. It's got to be reserved, in moderation. Just when I feel I need to get that.
Make a contact of yourself in your phone, and then set that as the ringtone. So wherever you need some nostalgia, just text yourself, and then
Just text myself. That'd be awesome though if I plugged something into my phone as if I was using it as a modem. Like, yeah, no, this will work. I'll just hook up my internet, like leading someone into thinking I'm going to share my Wi-Fi. Where my Wi-Fi is not working. I just plug it in and it should share over the USB. And then, it's going to be a little slow.
if you do that, you must video it. That is,
yeah, I will actually if that happens.
That would be hilarious.
It's this new app I got, and it hooks you up to the internet for free. Just a little bit slow. I bet you could probably do that, actually.
I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me. You'd be able to get a USB adapt to your phone. I can't remember what connector it is now, because that's theoretically, as long as it's still running over that line, which some people here still do, you'd be able to probably get an app that could do that, because your phones can run, like they have their own router, modem, or whatever you call it, like they can input the internet. That should theoretically, that should work. I'm going to have to look that up, because that'll be so fun.
Would be hilarious. Do people even still have phone lines?
Yeah. People still use dial-up, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, my
it's
sister.
Unbelievable, but
My sister lives right next door to me. When they got their internet and their cable thing going, they said, "Hey, if you had a landline, you'll get this much off of it." And so they have a house phone that no one calls.
Yeah.
Because everyone has a cell phone now, so
no one uses them.
Yeah, my mom got pissed because she wanted a phone line installed in her house, and they didn't install it. And I'm like, "Why did you want a phone line?" She's like, "I don't know."
Bloody useful, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't cost much.
But the thing was, like, nobody even uses them anymore, and like, it was just like, because we were out in the middle of the woods, and like, yeah, it would be useful, but I mean, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I feel like an idiot now.
Oh, it happens, man. I do it a lot. But my excuse is I smoke, so that's my excuse.
I do too, so.
Oh, there you go. We can both use that excuse. Yay.
But it happened before I started, so I think it's an underlying.
Oh, shh! Don't tell us that.
God damn it! I shouldn't have said anything.
Oh shit.
Hey guys, love y'all and all, but I really do have to go.
Yeah, we've been going.
Oh yeah, we've been on a while.
Yeah, we have. I didn't even realize how long we've been on. All right. Well, I say this is a good place to end it. So,
hey,
want to shout yourself out? Drop your link to your channel in the chat.
Well, there's the frustrated youth over there.
I'm a little too busy, so I'm not dropping mine in there. But frustrated atheist, y'all know how to look at me up.
He's a goose and sometimes a pig.
But all the time he's a frustrated atheist.
And
I know I'm not Jar Witness, I suppose. I'm checking out. If you haven't found me already, I do shit on the Jehovah's Witnesses, and then generally I try and take a shit on the Jehovah's Witnesses. So it's a lot of good,
And he shits on Dr. Guyman too.
A little bit of
Those
that. I haven't done
those
that
are
for
beautiful.
a while. They are
I miss
fun.
them.
I've had to take a bit of a break from them for a bit for my sanity.
Yeah, Brony actually thinks he's Cap thinks he's a Poe.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who do.
Well,
I think
because
everyone's a Poe, pretty much.
well, it's funny because whenever he was debunking whatever Tatted Atheist did, he said that there was no starving kids in Africa. That it was all a scam done up by the charities. And Cap finally says and goes, "You know what? I really do think you're a Poe."
Yeah, well, he does, but you got to look at what input he's getting and where he buys his trust on. So if he's getting a lot of this misguided information and believing it, it's not necessarily a Poe.
Oh, I'm not saying that I thought he was or wasn't. I'm just saying that that's what Cap said.
Yeah,
I could see it, but
it's difficult because I mean I'm sort of in between because he's a tough case, But anyway, I thought you said you were going, Russ. What are you doing?
I am. I'll see y'all guys later.
he found bread. He found bread. That's
Yeah, I found bread, so
Yeah.
All right, talk y'all later. Bye.
No.
Bye.
Gotcha, dude. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not sure, so we all figured that out. Shout out's done.
And I'm Strawman Atheist, and I will see y'all next time I do one of these broadcasts, and hopefully next time it's actually better quality and we can actually do some music instead of just talking about it. So,
Yeah.
like, subscribe, check out check out From the Gallows, check out Frustrated Atheist, and check out Not Your Witness. This has been Strawman Atheist, and I hope you all have a wonderful heretical day.
Yeah, because fuck Tat.
Oh, and Tatted Atheist. I'm glad I hadn't closed off. He left us. He abandoned
He
us.
left us. He left me. He left us. You in Jurassic Park?
He left us. He left us. He left us.
But that's not what I'm gonna do.
Well, we keep getting sidetracked, but all right, everybody, have a good night and later.